I'm going to turn the mic over to Nelson and Gina. Steve, you mind coming up? And we got a special presentation.
About 2 months ago, at a event going on, Gina approached me about information if we would set something up for her in recognition of one of our members of our company. And I said, I believe we could. I met with the president. We need to keep everything hush-hush. Tonight, most members will find out about it. The board knows about it. And from there, I'll let Gina talk about it.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see a lot of old faces. Haven't seen some of you in many, many years. Gotta put my glasses on too. We're all getting old. So my name is actually Gina Harmon, but everybody in this company knows me as Gina Foley. Okay? So tonight I'm here speaking on behalf of my sister Gemma, who lives in Florida, and myself. Nowadays, it seems all we ever hear is bad news, but yet there are still a few good people in this world. Our parents, Jim and Billy, moved onto Brunswick Street in 1964 when I was 2 months old. That was a long time ago. In the mid-70s, a young family with 2 little girls and one on the way moved into the house 2 doors away. Our families quickly became friends and more. The 3 little girls, Dana, Dawn, and Danielle, affectionately called my parents Aunt Bill and Uncle Jim. In those days, families would gather together on the porches in the evening while the kids played around, and the parents would chat and gossip and carry on a little bit. It was a fun time back in those days. Our new neighbor belonged to the ambulance company, and he was on call quite a bit. So we'd be sitting on the porch talking or chatting or listening to an Orioles game, and the whistle would go off, and he'd sprint off the porch. He was a little younger then. And he was gone. And I can't tell you the number of nights that my sister and I lied in bed, and when the siren would go off, we'd sit there and wait to hear Denny's truck door, Denny's truck start, and Denny take off. So this man has belonged to this company for over 50 years and is well known throughout the community for his selfless service. Not only was and is he a great husband, father, and grandfather, but the absolute best neighbor anyone could ever ask for. If you haven't figured out who I'm talking about, it's Denny Moore. My sister and I grew up and moved away. Life happens. But as our parents aged, we tried to be there as often as possible. But we always had peace of mind because we knew Denny was always there, 2 doors away. I'm sorry. Denny became an invaluable friend and an integral part of our family. He was there every single day, checking on Mom and Dad, sometimes more than once a day. He would keep them up to date on the local news and gossip, run errands, do household chores, and almost anything they asked of him. They would talk about anything and everything, sometimes for hours at a time. When our dad passed away in December of 17, Denny was there in the early morning hours with Mom within minutes before I could get there from Martinsburg. He became even more important to our family after Dad's passing. If it were not for him, Mom would have never been able to remain in her home until her death. I remember Mom telling me one day, she said, you know, I asked Denny why he was so good to me. He told me that before my dad passed, he had promised Dad that if anything happened to him, he would take care of Mom, and he did. Sometimes Denny checked in on Mom several times a day. They had a running joke. She acted like she was tired of seeing him, so she would say, go home, Moore. Mom loved Denny like a son. Sometimes, though, Denny and occasionally Tony Barnhouse would play pranks on her, and she would give them hell. I went to laugh about it later. When Mom went to the hospital in August 2022, none of us had a clue that she would never return home. Denny called her almost every day and visited her as often as he could. When we knew she wasn't going to make it, Denny and his daughters, Dawn and Danielle, came to see her one last time. The day before she passed, Denny walked into her hospital room, and her words to him were, "What are you doing here, shithead?" As sad as we all were, we had to laugh. Denny has been there for our family during our grieving process and as our parents aged. He even watched over Mom's house when it was empty until we were able to sell it. We know that he misses both Mom and Dad every day, just as we all do. So now you can understand why we wanted to do something very special for Denny. We thought about a monetary gift, which I'm sure he would have accepted, but it just didn't seem appropriate, as he means so much more to our family. He is truly one of a kind, a great friend, and forever part of our family, an exceptional human being. To thank Denny for his unwavering devotion to both our family and the community, my sister and I have decided, with the ambulance company's blessing, and again, thank you to Steve and Nelson for helping this to happen, we have created an annual scholarship in his name to be awarded to a graduating Brunswick High School student pursuing a career in the medical field. The annual scholarship will be $1,000, given to a deserving graduate who demonstrates both academic achievement and a commitment to community service. We wanted to make sure that Denny's legacy and love for his friends, family, and community will forever live on through future generations of healthcare workers who can only attempt to emulate his sincerity and generosity. Thank you, Denny. We love you. And if you'll come up, please.